Hello everyone, this is Michael. In today's video, I'm going to show you a handy solution of Smartie that turns an HL7 messages into a CSV type report. What I mean by that is that when you receive messages like this, the solution will take your interested data elements out of this message and put into a CSV file as a line of the data. So that means you can convert HL7 structure into CSV structure, which make it a lot easier to consume. You can open it in Excel or import it into database because CSV file is just more commonly accepted, more commonly can be interpreted in different tools. Okay, so let's go through that. So when you download Smartie, you don't have to install the software, as you know. Just double click, it launches the Smartie Manager, the user interface. Uh, the solution that converts HL7 to CSV is actually already uh, built in one of the examples. That's example 10 of the downloaded solutions in the example solution folder. So if you uh, haven't, if you're not familiar with Smartie, you can go through those included examples in the example solutions. There's a few of them. Uh, Number 10 is the one we're going through today. Okay. So once you go to solution number 10, it opens up the solution as such. If you look at it, it actually involves quite a number of handlers to produce a nice looking report. Uh, the Let me just go through each of them easily. It's not that complicated, just one step at a time. So the first one at the top is the HL7 file reader, imports HL7 messages from a file into the solution. The second one does the conversion for you, so it converts, as I say in the beginning, pick the data elements, put in the CSV file format. It's not that complicated when you set it up, but I go through that later. So the next one and the one following is basically formatting the CSV file. It's not that essential, but it just show you what can be done, so you have a nice looking report. So this one, for example, is the rows filters. It allows you to filter rows. So if you have like 2000 rows, you're only interested to certain rows with a data value, you can specify I'm only interested patients with male or was from this ward or discharged on this day and so on. And the next one is the header. So you can change the headers of your CSV file. So you can add a header if there's no headers, but if the header is not the wording is different, you can change it using the add header handler. And then next one is the columns trimmer. So if you have a report have 15 columns, you're only interested to 5 of them, you can just specify I'm interested on 1, 2, 3, and 6. So you specify your columns using the the column rearranger handler. The last one in this example is that you can write your CSV format file, format data into a file. And also you can do a little bit tweaking to make it more Excel friendly. I'm just going through again the configurations of each of the handler, but basically that's what it does in this solution. So again, go back to number one. For setting up the file reading, you need to specify, you can specify the data input directory and also the naming pattern of the file. So the solution handler will keep scanning that folder. Once you see the file matches this naming pattern, it will pick it up, parsing it, pick up all the messages and hand it over to the next step. So, and the second one is the key part of this demonstration. It has is the conversion of the HL7 data elements into the CSV line. So let's just have a closer look of this. So the the setting it up is quite straightforward to some degree. If you look at this, this is actually the configuration, the only configuration available for this handler. So you quite straightforwardly, you just tell that for column 1, give me MSH 9. For column 2, give me MSH 10. And column 3, give me P3. So you sort of tell the handler, I want you to grab this data element and put it in the column as such. A little tweak here, if you notice this column and this column here. This is the key part of this to set it up correctly. So the if you have you can filter in your data elements in your message. Say I'm only interested in data element if it matches this criteria. What does it mean is that in this case, P8 is patient's gender. So you say give me only messages with gender M. So if it's female or other type unknown, then you won't pick it up for you. Uh, Most messages only have one PID. Some messages have multiple, but so this doesn't matter that much. But this one, OBX1 equals 2. That's why it matters. You need to be specific. What does it mean? If I bring back to the screen that I showed you earlier, this one. So if you look at this message, you actually have quite a number of OBXs. So what it's telling here is saying, although there are many OBXs, I'm only interested in the segment OBX has 2 in the first field. So if it doesn't look at 1 for the similar data field, I'm only interested in 2. So in this particular example, you look at this line for all the subsequent field in OBXs. So give me all the OBX whatever when OBX1 is 2. This is also OBX2. So hopefully the solution will get the relevant data element from this. So so you specify in such a way so it will not get the data you're not interested in. So in HL7 messages, you have repeated sections. You tell the handler get this when this is this. Okay, so this is how you specify. So in this particular case, I want ORC2, OBR4. In this case, it's okay. We give only ORC, OBR, OBX2. So you get that. You will get ORC, OBR of the second repeat, and then OBX2. So this was the intention. So if you know which data element you're interested in, you specify it here. So that means your report only show you the result of that using this handler. Okay, so I actually need to maybe record another video just to tell you how to do this uh, properly. But just for this go through, I will stop here. Okay. Oh, I'm not going to save this because I think I did some unnecessary changes, but that's okay. That's how it works. Set up this. Then the rest of it, I'm just quickly browse through. You can specify column number 1 to be starting with ORU. So that means you give me all the ORU messages when ORU data line when it's in CSV format. I'm only interested when column 1 is OR starting with ORU. So that means if there's ADT messages generated lines, it will be ignored. Uh, add headings, straightforward. Just tell them heading 1 like this, heading 2, heading 3. So similar to the CSV HL7 to CSV conversion, you just say column 1, I want you to call it this, column 2. So it's quite straightforward. Column streamer is Also very straightforward. You say for the columns you gave me, only give me columns 3, 4, 5, 6, not others. Okay, so just in this particular example, you will skip column 1 and 2. Uh, then the last one, it's quite straightforward. It tells you, okay, once you're done, send the output to this directory. This little thing is quite useful because for Excel only, for viewing CSV file in Excel, for people knowing Excel, that it sometimes starts the formatting for you. So if you notice a date format, it will do a date conversion, make it showing like a date. And if it's a data like a decimal, it will convert to the decimal format for you with some sort of uh, uh, rendering. So but sometimes you really want to show it as a piece of text. So don't do the formatting for me. So if you have that kind of requirement for certain column, you just say uh, put it here. So as this example, you just say column number 1 and 5. Don't do the formatting. What does this handler does is put a tab character in front of the actual data that stops Excel renders the data element into whatever format it thinks it is. So if you want to do kind of skipping or formatting, just specify here. I think it's quite useful because when you deal with Excel data, I mean all these handlers is that for you to repeatedly all this you can do it in Excel. So even in Excel you can specify I don't want you to render this particular column, but changing filtering on rows, changing headers, trim some columns off. Uh, you can do it in Excel, but you have to do it manually. So all this allows you to automatically do the formatting. So if you have a report coming every day, every hour, you can do this with this solution. It does it automatically for you. So it's sort of automated data processing tool for you in this particular example. As you can see, I put a catcher handler after each of the processing. So for when I run this demo, you'll see how the data go through after each stage of the processing. Okay, let's get it to run. So if you go start branch, it starts the solution. As we know, the first one is expecting data called reader blah HL7 in the data in folder. So this is the data in folder. Uh, I'm going to drop a file matches that the naming convention. So if you go to the example folder that of the download, which is here, I already made one actually specifically for this example 10, so for you to try it out. So what I would do is to just grab this file, copy, and paste it here. So if you just watch these changes, watch this counter changes, how the file being processed. Okay, so apparently there's 3 records in one container, uh, and this as you go through, actually you can see the records changes. So 3 comes in, 4 comes out, whatever. Let's see what does it mean. Let's go through each of them. So 3 messages as to the input, ADT, another ADT messages, and this ORU messages. Okay, the ORU message has those OBX, OBR that I was showing you. So we were expecting that to grab those data elements out of this OBX. Okay, so this is the input. So if you go to the catcher, number 1, this is the output. So I want to show you that in the text editor. So let's do that. Okay, grab it to text editor. So basically, it grabs you. There's 3 messages. It's just uh, as you expect a file reader does. It reads the file, it discovers 3 messages. So that's what we expected. Number 2, what we got here. Okay, go back to our text editor. Okay, it does that conversion for you, quite interestingly. Uh, so uh, for some reason, you only see 3 lines. So we have, remember we have 3 messages, but we only interested on male patients, remember? So that the female lines gets filtered out. So what I mean is that when you look at back to the example message we just had, this is male, this is female, this is male. So the 2 male messages gets picked. It generated 3 lines. One for the ADT, 2 for the OBX, OBR segments. Remember I told you we are interested only in OBX 1 equals 2. So that means because this message has 2 OBXs, so we pick up this 2 OBX that's relevant to this. So that means it gave me 2 lines. Fair enough. Now what's next? Oh, we say we're gonna filter the rows based on if the column 1 starting with ORU. Right, so it should do the filtering for us. So what does it do? Let's see. Uh, okay, compared to this and that, ADT messages gets filtered out. So this is what this filtering do. It picks, it can specify for this column number 1, only give me those ones starting with ORU, whereas this one gets filtered out. Okay, that's fair enough. At headers, if you notice the conversion, uh, it just put a header for you when you do the conversion by use the HL7 data element filter you just set out. So use MSH9, MSH10. So this is the header line after the conversion. At this point, you can then change it to something more meaningful, right? So that's how you do it. So you just do a conversion. Let's look at what is this. So it doesn't change the data. It just changes the first line. So from MSH9, you say, okay, this is message ID, message type, message ID, MRN number, patient's name, gender. It is more sort of user-friendly when you output as a report. You don't want to see HL7 the element addresses as such. So this was the header does, and then this column trimmer does the trimming for you. So in this case, as we show you, we want to remove column 1 and 2 because the end user might not be interested about HL7 message ID and so on. So we decided in this particular example, take column 1 and 2 out. So let's see if the output matches our expectation. So this is what it is. So if you then again compare these two, so the message type, message ID gets chopped, MRN number onwards gets kept. So you got MRN number, patient's name, gender, and so on. So far so good. We got the data element we want, ORU messages. We got the nice header. We trim the all columns that we are not interested in. The last bit is the one that does the tabbing for me. So if I go okay, so there's a little glitch here. I put for the catcher element for the catcher, I I didn't uh, actually it doesn't matter because we don't look at the catcher because what I'm trying to say is that I did a zip content for this catcher, so you won't see the proper normal looking of the data file as text. But if you zip it up for you, this is a handy feature when you have just archiving going on. But if you open it up, you will see the file in there. But because the file writer writes the data out to the Smartie out folder. So let's just look at what's in the Smartie out folder. So it does the CSV file conversion. So it's sort of already in the Excel. So Excel pick it up as a default. But if you just look at the file again, it does the tabbing for you. So column 1 and column 5, it does the tabbing. What does it mean? So if I put it in Excel, So it doesn't convert this into a ugly looking Excel. If I just do a comparison, I go back to before the conversion. This is what we got. If I put the same file into Excel, oh, no, Excel doesn't recognize it. So what I will do, I will just convert it to CSV extension. CSV extension, so Excel will take it in. Now I put it in there. Oh, what I have been seeing here is Excel is complaining this file cannot be found. Why is that? Because the path is very long. So if you look at this uh, full path of the file structure is too long for Excel to handle. So what I would do, I just copy it to my desktop and then I put it in Excel again. Hopefully you'll pick it up this time. Oh, come on. So I do that, right? So this time it opens up, uh, and then if you compare the two, so this is what without the little trick uh, of handling, Excel will render this to instead of don't pass it, show me just a number, and this is shows the 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 Excel think the number should be look like this, right? So which is quite annoying. You might have to do some manual processing. So this video is already too long, but basically I give you the idea how how uh, the data processing works. Actually, before I go, I want to show you the OBX OBX element picking it up, right? So I remember I was expecting that the two OBXs gets picked. We have Let's show you this. So you have OBX2 uh, neck, spine, magnetic imaging. I put the one here and two here just to differentiate. And this one is I don't know what P means, and F. So you see here, you have one pick up as first line, two pick up as second line, and P and F corresponding to the first OBX, second OBX. So that if you want to display two OBXs, this is how to do it. But if you say, okay, I'm only interested in the first OBX, what do I do? So then you put OBX something equals P. That means you will ignore the second one. It picked the first one for you. As I said, I'm going to maybe record another video specifically just tell you how to do configure the filtering. But for this video, only the purpose, you get the idea how to nice and easy convert HL7 messages into a CSV line. Imagine you have 2,000 messages coming in every day. Just drop into your solution. You'll produce a nice, easy to digest CSV file for you. And then you can import that to your database. You can just show it to your manager, put in the Excel spreadsheet, and you can send to the client, print it out as a work list. Yeah, all sort of things you can do with this handy solution. Okay, that's it. I hope you enjoy the tool and make it more productive for you. Thank you.